This weekend is Krampusnacht, so it seemed like the perfect opportunity to review the 2015 modern Christmas classic, Krampus. I love this movie, and the first thing I gotta acknowledge is that it's a movie that came out in 2015, yet for the most part, uses practical effects. There's only a couple of scenes where it relies on CGI, and that's only because it wouldn't look convincing in practical form when they do use the CGI. Like, the only reason they use the CGI is because if they tried to do those scenes with practical effects, it probably wouldn't look convincing. But everything else is practical effects. Puppets, animatronics, costumes, all of it very well done. And even though this technically qualifies as a horror movie, I would say much like Gremlins, it falls more into the area of like dark comedy more than it does horror because it is very campy, but it's intentionally campy. It's not like a movie where it's cheesy and they had like no idea what they were doing and it looks really bad. Like, no, it's a movie that was like intended to be campy. Like, even when it's scary, it's done in such a fun and campy way that you still kind of have fun with it. It never goes like too scary. It never goes so scary that it's hard to watch. When it's scary, it's still really fun. And every actor in this movie gives a great performance, and they all work very well off of each other. And like I said, it feels more like a throwback to like horror films from the 80s that were a little bit cheesy, like I said, Gremlins, but yet it's still made with the advantage of filmmaking technology available in the year 2015, while still keeping good old-fashioned filmmaking techniques, albeit on a higher budget than it would have had this been made in the 80s, even though it feels like something that would have come out in the 80s, but like in the best way. And it does a very good job of teasing the audience and building suspense, because you don't actually see the Krampus until almost the end of the movie, at least not fully. You see a hoof, a claw, an antler, kind of all throughout the movie, but never the full creature until the third act. And even then, it's like the very end of the third act. It's like right before the big, resolution at the end. It's like the final battle at the end. And even when you see Krampus's helpers, like the elves or the toys and things like that, it still teases and builds suspense before they're fully revealed. And when they are revealed, it's a ton of fun to watch everyone fight back against them. It kind of reminds me of like Nightmare Before Christmas a little bit, where Jack gives the kids, the evil toys. I mean, there's even like an evil teddy bear like there is a Nightmare Before Christmas. There's an evil Jack in the Box like there is a Nightmare Before Christmas. So there's, the scene involving gingerbread men that are attacking this one character, and that very much reminded me of Gremlins, like in the best way. It takes a ton of influence from those movies, and it's a ton of fun. And there's also a flashback sequence involving, this character's history and knowledge of the Krampus, and it's done with just absolutely gorgeous stop-motion animation. Like, it looks so gorgeous. So yeah, this movie's creepy, spooky, and a ton of fun, all at the same time. If you haven't checked it out yet, now's your opportunity. So yes, I would give the Krampus A-, 9 out of 10, and 4 out of 5 stars.